Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. We are here to do a reading today for the sign of Capricorn for the month of November 2017. So just a couple of things before I get started. My setup is a little different, first of all. And secondly, Capricorns were my #1 viewer in the month of October. So thank you to all of you wonderful Capricorns out there for viewing my videos in October. So let's get on to your reading then for the month of November. Today I'm using 2 decks. The first one is the Gilded Tarot by Cyril Marchetti, and then we'll be pulling a guidance card from Doreen Virtue's Archangel Oracle cards. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Calling on the angels, the divine teachers, the wonderful benevolent forces that surround the sign of Capricorn, asking for guidance, clarity, wisdom, and vision as we look into the energies for the month of November 2017. Giving thanks to all that is in advance for this perfect clarity, this perfect vision, and this perfect wisdom. Acknowledging the goodness in all things. Capricorn, November 2017. All right, Capricorn, that feels pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at your cards for the month of November. I am doing what I'm calling a world view spread this month. So let's take a look and I'll tell you all about that spread as we move along here. All right, so at your bottom card, we do have the Knight of Wands coming in as your overall energy in the month of November. So this Knight of Wands is a very fiery, fast-moving energy. This Knight comes in usually when when there's a push of some sort needed in a certain area, if there's maybe a missing piece that you're waiting for. So this is a pretty good start to your overall energy for the month of November. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of your cards and see what we have here. So in the past position, we do have the 2 of Pentacles. So this 2 is all about, this 2 of Pentacles is all about balance. So in the past, there's been the need for Capricorns to balance their decisions, needing to choose perhaps between one thing or the other. This too often reflects duality. So 2 different points of view, perhaps even vastly different points of view, coming into some sort of reconciliation. There's been some sort of decision making in the recent past for Capricorns that has helped you to line things up more effectively in your life. So that's also another good thing that we can look at there for Capricorns. Now in the current position, you are coming in with yet another Knight here. The Knight of Swords is coming in the reverse. So this Knight is not as fast moving as the one we talked about as your overall riding energy. He's more of a very decided, very methodical in his thinking, or and so this is coming up in the reverse, actually, in your present position. Now, swords also speak to thoughts. It's an air energy, and it's all about the way you're thinking. So when I see this in the reverse, anytime I see swords cards in the reverse, it always is a pausing point for me, because it usually indicates that there's some level of thinking that needs to be adjusted in some way. Now, it'll be up to you to decide where in your life or where in your circumstances you may need to do not necessarily an attitude adjustment, but certainly an adjustment in the way you're viewing things that are maybe going on around you. So that's coming up in your current position there. And then next up, we do have the Five of Swords coming up in your future position. Now, fives are all about changes. And this guy here, this card came up in another reading this month. And what really spoke to me is the fact that he's standing on a battlefield, although he has somewhat of a valiant attitude or disposition here in this picture. But again, he is still on the battlefield. This picture didn't get taken, at the before and after. He appears to be still in the process of dealing with whatever circumstances are out there on the battlefield. So the same is going to hold true for you, Capricorn. If there's, as a future card, I'm seeing this as perhaps whatever journey or specific project that you're working on that may be feeling like it's you're working a battle or fighting a battle. Perhaps you have the courage and the strength to withstand this battle and to see this battle to the end. So always keep that in mind, Capricorn. All right, so in your current position, in your current outlook, so this card here is how you're seeing the world, what your view is, how you're kind of picturing the world, if you will. So here we have the Eight of Pentacles coming up in the reverse. So this eight is all about, this particular card is all about working really hard and getting to a point where you can begin to pull some of those coins down out of the sky or out of your atmosphere and into your pockets. So seeing this in the reverse is indicative to me that perhaps there may be some financial concerns, or if not financial concerns, concerns about how that would still equal what I was just thinking about, would still come out to financial concerns. So I'll just leave it at that, and you figure out, there's really not much to figure out here. Whenever you're watching these videos, you're always going to apply the parts that are relevant for your life and that seem to speak to your life. You'll apply what's necessary, and then you'll leave the rest, and that's the way it should be. So again, this Eight of Pentacles coming up in the reverse is kind of speaking to the fact that there may be some concerns around your financial abilities, or your ability to gain finances. Some concern. I'm feeling a bit of concern there. So that may be how some Capricorns are looking out at the world around them. So here we have external influences coming in the next position here. So this Two of Cups in the reverse is indicating to me that there's some sort of relationship that you're involved in that is not progressing the way you'd like it to. Perhaps things are rocky in this particular relationship that I'm referring to here. This could be a coworker. This could be a lover. This could be a friend, a family member. There are many different types of relationships, but the one that came to your mind first here is the one that I'm referring to, because this one is one that is in need of repair. Is what I'm feeling to say here. So this relationship that is in need of some sort of healing or repair, or perhaps even forgiveness, is presenting itself as an external influence for Capricorns in the month of November. So it just means that this relationship is definitely impacting the way you see the world, which is what we were similar to what we were just talking about here with the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. I did mention that this was a financially motivated position here because of the fact that there's a pentacle involved. But again, this relationship could be in somehow related to your finances, to your job, in some way. But again, that is presenting itself as an external influence for you. Now, next up, we have your internal influence, and this card represents your true power, your driving force in the month of November. So here we have the Hanging Man, and let me check. Yes, he did come up in the reverse. When I see the Hanging Man upright, this is a major arcana. It usually indicates, actually, that's going to be upright right there. It usually indicates that there's a need to surrender or to let go of something that you're either showing a great deal of attachment towards. And I am feeling, even though this is coming up in the reverse, I am feeling that sense that there's a need to surrender, to let go of needing things to look a certain type of way, to let go of the attachments to having your way, to the degree that it causes you suffering. Like if there's a general want or a general desire that you have, and you're not being overly anal about the idea of getting what you want, in other words, not having very stringent and very strict guidelines and boundaries in place. The key here is to be flexible and adaptable, and those are words that are coming through clearly with this Hanged Man coming up in the reverse. So your true power will very much lie in your ability to be very flexible and adaptable in your environment. All right, now your final outcome card here is coming up as the Devil. And this card basically gives us a summary of sorts of the last three cards, your internal and external influences, as well as your current outlook on the world. So here we have the Devil coming up, and typically this speaks to a need to it speaks to over excess, doing things that are excessive, the need to maybe bring that in some, monitor that a bit more. I just finished talking about being flexible. The Devil is coming in right next to the Hanged Man, where there was that need to be more adaptive and to be more flexible. And perhaps this is whatever area this is of your life is an area where you may be able to look at new ways of dealing with either people or circumstances or situations. There's something that is presenting a really significant issue is the word that's coming right now for some Capricorns. There's some aspect that is presenting some major hurdles for you at this time. Now, it's not I don't get an impression as to whether this is in relationship to you directly or to someone who's close to you. But there's something that is that's in need, as I felt with the Two of Cups coming up in the reverse. Something in need of repair there, or a healing, really more so than repair, because healing will repair whatever the situation is. But I'm drawn back to this Two of Cups in the reverse here, as I was getting that impression about this, whatever this is. But there's a need there to really evaluate what your true intentions are with this situation. What is it that this particular thing or this hurdle, what is that, what is it providing for you? And to really look at where how this is beneficial to you, right? So really picking that up there with the Devil coming up as your final outcome. So if that applies to you, if the shoe fits, wear it, okay? All right, so that's going to wrap up the main portion of your reading here. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your guidance card to close out your reading. These cards are actually my oldest deck that I have, Doreen Virtues. I've had this deck probably 10 years, and I've gotten to a point with this particular deck where I typically don't have to pull a card out. The archangels will let me know which card is appropriate for this particular reading. So let's go ahead and have a shuffle here and see what the archangels have to say about this reading for Capricorn for the month of November. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Oh my goodness. You know what? This card fell out when I initially began to shuffle. And I picked it up and put it back and continued to shuffle because I hadn't shuffled. I had only maybe gone through the deck one time before this card jumped out. But here this card is again after the shuffle coming back out. So it's Archangel Metatron. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So for some of you out there, obviously, one or two or some or all of you are meant to, Archangel Metatron is really letting you know that there is something that you have that is very helpful to very sensitive children around you, and to really call upon Archangel Metatron or whatever source that you rely on to help you to be of better assistance. Or I'm sure if you already have that bond, that you're probably already very much working with this whole idea of working with these beautiful children. So some of you guys out there are really cut out to do that. So I think that's a wonderful thing. I think it's amazing that this card came back out because it's absolutely meant for the sign of Capricorn for the month of November. All right, so that does conclude your reading for the month of November. I'd like to thank you for stopping by my channel. I want to wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and I will see you back here in December. Namaste.